Another thing I was fascinated with was this particular piece was for shadow.
Can you talk about the connection about being a musician and a dancer at the same time, having that kind of intimate connection?
In the formation that we are used to, or rather it was forced upon us, that we have to be equally trained as musician and dancer, especially singer. So all the students who took dance as their main subject were supposed to have equal amount of time devoted to singing, because singing is an integral part of the show that you have seen, and the text and the emotions that come through singing is integrated very tightly into Kuchipudi. Actually, our master style also used to have the dancer miming the lip movement of the words rather than concentrating on the expressions. But we have the Bharatanatyam where we don't do that tradition, and Shantala somehow preferred to concentrate on the expressive side without giving a lip movement of the words that is being sung. So you can imagine how intricately close the music and dance in Kuchipudi style especially is.
Your guru became Shantala's guru, in fact. Talk a little bit about, if you can, the degree to which one develops a relationship and what one gleans. We hear the word here in the West, but I don't know if we necessarily understand the degree to which the relationship exists.
Of a guru and disciple. Mm-hmm. All through music, dance, spiritual discipline, or even ordinary teaching in schools or in colleges, the relationship for learning from something from somebody is considered very sacred and very privileged. So whoever gives you learning is considered somebody very important and very much looked up to with respect and admiration. And it became more so in the field of dance and music because the only tradition we followed was oral tradition. There was nothing written. There was no tape recorder, there was no television, no screen, nothing. Just a man sitting there and trying to impart it through all the means that he had. So the guru became a center of all importance in all learnings because he had to transmit it through his personage. And so he became more and more exemplified as an exemplary personality also. Everybody invested him with not only the qualities of dance and music, but all the superlative qualities as a human being. And that's how the relationship is very formal and very respectful and full of love. And this admiration made people imitate the teacher in every way in the beginning because he was so full of the style and the experience that he tried to transmit. So this is what we have followed in all our studies as guru and disciple.
Thank you. We're just talking about the relationship of the guru to the disciple, and your mother was just telling us the degree to which this relationship develops. And you, in fact, became the disciple of the same guru, the master of your mother. Can you talk about how you made that connection and how it developed for you?
I met my mother's master, who then became my guru, when I was very little, because I used to go with my mother when she took classes. So I remember him from a very young age as a sort of very elegant and figure which was very imposing, very drawing at the same time. And when I started becoming more sensitive to the style of Kuchipudi and really fell in love with it, I somehow also fell in love with the magnetic persona of my master. Both, I could see this dance style and the master as one, basically. So there's a great love and respect and really a sort of fascination, admiration that you want to emulate the master in all ways. You know, he's not only a master of the technique and the style, but he has also masterly qualities in life, in the way he conducts himself, the way he speaks to people, the way he treats people around him, his way of life, basically. So everything about him becomes something that you want to go towards, something that you aspire to. So it's a very powerful persona, and it's a great blessing to have such an example or something of that level and quality that you want to go towards.
Your master, actually, your guru, he passed away last year, and I'm sorry for your loss. How do you transcend that?
I think, he's very much alive in all the dance that he created and in all the students that he formed, in all the choreographies that are still being danced of his. And I don't know, in India we believe that, life and death are just one continuous line. And life is one side and death is the other side. And it's not a sort of ending or something. Of course, you miss the physical presence of the person, but the spirit, the energy, the inspiration, all those things are as present as ever. So in that way, the presence is still as strong, if not more. When I dance, or in many other moments as well, the presence is extremely strong. So, yeah.
Akasha is very much, as I understand it, the title in Sanskrit relates to sky and space. And it feels to me, watching this, that there's a deep philosophical perspective that you must have on this. Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think I usually have more of a very intuitive approach, which is often difficult to describe in words because it's more of on the level of feeling and intuition. But Akasha for me is a very powerful, inspiring, beautiful word and concept. So as you said, it's sky and space. It's at many different levels, the space that surrounds us every day, the universe. But in a more subtle level, it's the infinite space of being, the space that is beyond space, the space that we cannot comprehend or even try to reach with our senses or our mind. It's a space that exists everywhere, all the time, but you have to be in a very special level of consciousness to be able to feel it or touch it or something like that. So dance and music are very powerful catalysts that can push you into another state of consciousness, and maybe then you can feel the Akasha inside each one of us. It's there.
One of the amazing things I think about this particular production is, as you're describing it, the music, the sound, the vibration of sound. And it transmits into, as we see it throughout, but it culminates in the vibration of your fingers. Talk a little bit about how hand gestures figure so prominently.
So in all forms of classical Indian dance and folk dances as well, the hand gestures are codified in a very complex and detailed way so that they become a language. In India, we also, not only in India, but maybe more so than in other countries, we speak a lot with our hands also. We're very expressive with our face and with our hands, and those elements you find in the dance in a more stylized way. We also believe in the mythology that sound, the vibration of sound, is what gives rise to the universe. So the little drum that Shiva has in his hand is the support. That vibration is what gives rise to everything. And it's wonderful to see that in science also, for example, in quantum physics, they're also discovering that, I don't know whether you know the theory of the superstrings, but at the heart of everything, there's vibration. So basically, religion, philosophy, spiritual philosophy science is finding out the same things as these great, like Buddhism or Hinduism, where the heart of everything is one vibration, which is unique, which is the same in everything. And Akasha is said to be the subtle space that arises from the subtle sound. There's a very beautiful Sanskrit little poem or verse that says, "Where goes the hand, there goes the eye. Where goes the eye, there goes your mind. Where goes the mind, there goes the feeling. And where goes the feeling, there arises rasa." Rasa is the aesthetic bliss. The taste, the aesthetic bliss, it's a word that can't really be translated, but something that each one can feel when that happens.
One thing I want to underline, and the audience no doubt has felt it as well, is the exquisite and the detailed characterizations that you inhabit, that you embody throughout the entire piece. Each section, you are working with multiple characterizations. How do you both progress in a process to find all of the tuning and all of the perspectives that need to be found within these characterizations, but also, how do you bring it all together?
Of course, Kuchipudi comes from a storytelling tradition, so that's a very strong element in the training, the dramatic side, the theatrical side of being a storyteller, and with your hands and your face and with the music and the words and becoming different characters and becoming the friend, the girl, the husband. So that's definitely a very strong component that you train in from the very beginning, and you observe other dancers doing from when you start learning. But it takes a long time, and it's a lot to do also with. One part of it is learning skills of moving your muscles and coordinating, but a big part of it is also your imagination, how you understand the characters and how you give them life first in your mind and in your feeling so that you can bring them alive for the audience. You have to first have an inner story that each character has, many layers, and you make them more detailed and you understand them and make them more vivid for yourself so that you can bring them alive, and you can use the tools that you have, then the hands and everything, but it has to first be alive within you, and then you try to make them alive for the people. I also feel these, mythology continues to be very modern in many ways because it speaks about humans and their life and their emotions, and we feel sometimes, okay, it's ancient and it's old, so it's not relevant today anymore. But if you look at the actual stories, it's the same emotions that we're experiencing. Yes, the world evolves, but human beings have the same feelings. They have the same issues and the same relationships, the same struggles. And I would also say that many things happen in the world at large, at all times. And I feel, for me, and also the core intention behind all Indian arts is, on one hand, to reflect the world, the human emotions, but on the other hand, it's also to propose a window onto beauty, grace, power, energy, something that takes you away from the world of today and that gives you an opening to something that we need to aspire to, that we need to be nourished by. And I think that's what dance and music can do for all of us, and that's what makes them so precious and so relevant in each moment.